right, so what we're going to do today is I'm receiving still quite a fair bit of emails around finding topics, what you should be writing on. So let's do a live demo on how to come up with topics. Let's share your screen, CJ, and let's just go over the categories and take it from there. So we haven't prepared. So yes, you can see. Oh, hold on. This is a really good point. So as you can see, CJ started in the incognito mode. And for those of you who don't know how to get on incognito mode, the shortcut is Control Shift. I'll put it in there because I'm using a Mac. So for the people who are using Mac, it's Shift, Command, and Return. And then this way, if once you open the browser and you do that shortcut, it's going to open the incognito browser. Because the reason why we want to do that is because we don't want your research to be impacted by your previous research. Because Amazon, it's all about optimizing customers' experience. So if you previously researched on, I don't know, keto diet, Amazon have somehow kept that in their algorithm. So when you're doing again research similar to that, they will come up, they will show you things that they think that you want to see. So that's why we want you to search in the incognito mode. I'm going to try to find the shortcut, but yeah, okay. And the other thing is for the KT Spy software, there's a option for you to use it in incognito mode. If you just click on that little button, CJ, can you click on the, yeah.
Yes.
If you just click on that and go to manage extension.
Did you see the switch from incognito to this new screen? Or do I need to?
Yeah, no, no, I can't see it. You didn't, you're sharing your full screen.
Okay.
Do it again. Try it again. Okay.
Try it again. It doesn't like to switch from incognito mode to not incognito mode and still capture it. But when you click on it and hit manage extensions, it'll take you to this page. And then you can go here and allow incognito so that the icon will actually show up in incognito mode. So just allow it.
Yeah.
And then you will be able to navigate incognito mode with the extension showing up right there.
Perfect.
Yeah. All righty. We ready to rock and roll here?
We're born ready.
Oh, hold on to your butts. It's going to be exciting. Okay, so you could start in books if you want to. You could also start in Kindle store. It's just completely up to you. But I want to make it very clear that within books, there are different categories and sub niches than there are with Kindle. So it's worth it to navigate both of those and to look into both of those. When it comes to categories and assessing categories, we're not looking necessarily, I mean, you do want to look for profitability in topics, but categories is all about competition. How easy is it for you to land on that first page when it says, if we were to go to, let's go to biographies, arts and literature, actors and entertainers. So we've got, we want to assess this particular category and see if we were to do a biography on actors and entertainers, how difficult is it for us to show up on the very first page of this particular category? If people were searching for this type of thing, how difficult would it be to rank within like the top 20 or even the top 100? So what you would do is just click on that, whatever category you're looking at, and then assess it with KD Spy. I am not necessarily looking at the numbers in so much, like I'm not necessarily looking at the average sales rank when it comes to a topic. What I'm really looking at is competition. So as you can see here, the competition is actually quite fierce. because all of these books are under 3,000 in ranking. And what that means is they're really, really close to being #1 in the store. The closer you are to being #1 in the store, the more books you're selling throughout the day, which makes these folks really difficult to compete against. I'm not really sure. Do you know why it's only showing this many? It just seems odd to me that there wouldn't be that many biographies in there. Wonder why that's doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's in bestsellers, and maybe I just need to get out of bestsellers and try this again. I'm gonna hit on this book and try a different approach to see where he's got his book listed. There we go. Rich and famous biographies. Oh, I didn't know that there was a little column for that. Apparently there is. Sweet. Okay, let's just try this because I'd like to see a full list of things. There we go. And this is in Kindle. And you can also switch to this tab over here for books if you want to. Sometimes they give you both, sometimes they don't. Not really clear on why. So we've got, why is this only showing up here? Not a lot of books out here, but even from the get-go, what you're seeing is 765 here. I've got a bar right here, again, that I don't know how to get rid of. It's my screen sharing bar, so I apologize if I'm not reading the stuff on top here. But I really try to stay away from all of these books being 10,000 or under. And you're already going to see this competition thing show up right here. Sometimes that's very accurate. Sometimes the red right here is not. It just depends. If you look at these individual sales ranks, what you're going to see is, okay, I'd have to sell a lot of books a day in order to compete within this particular category of rich and famous. And so what you want to assess is competitiveness right there. And then take a look at the books. If it's not too competitive, just how many books would you be competing against? And would that be too difficult? So
you're in the bestsellers. How about if you get out? So right now, all what we're doing is we're just trying to find out some ideas, right?
Right.
So we're trying to see what could potentially be a topic that people might be interested in reading. So what if you try to get out of bestsellers and just do books or ebooks, doesn't matter. And then because in the bestsellers, so this is a good example. So in the bestsellers, I see a few people like Trump seems to be a person as part of the bestsellers. So what if I just do Trump, but in the Kindle store,
right?
And then see what and check the results from there.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's see where he's at here. Avoid. Why do these things not pull
up? We're just going to try to figure out which category this person put their book into.
That's really odd. I wonder why. Is this a new one? Good heavens. Where's the, are you seeing how there's no categories here at all?
Yeah, no.
That's really odd to me. Okay, we're getting out. We're hitting walls here. It happens. It happens. Give us categories.
Ooh, 94,000 reviews.
Is that what it has?
Yeah.
Glory.
Okay.
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 I'm not sure why that struck me as so funny. I just don't understand why that is a category. Okay. Alrighty. So here we are in the top 100 paid. That's what we wanted to get you to. So hopefully that will show us more books rather than just looking at the bestsellers in a category.
Or in bestsellers in Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, but we're finally seeing, do you see how we're seeing the top 100 paid and the top, top free? That's, you want to make sure that you see these things. That way you're pulling up as many books as you can. So maybe avoid clicking on that bestseller button from now on if that's the way Katie Spy's gonna mess with you on that. But yeah, so if you were going to do a book on Alzheimer's, there's actually there's just one big category for it, and it doesn't look too competitive. So when I take a look at the first three or four books, those are ranked fairly high. It would be difficult to get a #1 ranking in this category. But for the rest of it, these, you can compete against this. So it's actually got some room for competition here. So this looks pretty good. And then what you'd want to do is just look at the titles, look at the things that they're discussing. What is it that you could discuss that would maybe go at it at a different angle? Or maybe you could tackle just one aspect of what they're discussing. How could you do it better? So this might spark some ideas for you as you read their titles and kind of investigate what they're covering. And it could be that once you see this category, maybe you have some ideas as to what you would want to cover when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, because that's a very broad topic.
Yeah.
So, you know,
this is a really good thing. So to just keep in mind, so when it comes to writing biographies on people, other people, be careful what you write in there. You got to make sure that it's not defamatory or untrue or anything that it's, that they can come back to you and say, what is that? So treat carefully there. And the other thing is, so we're talking about Alzheimer's disease. If you don't have anything like all those medical conditions, be careful what the claims you're making. Don't make any claim. If you're not a doctor, you got to make sure that you have the disclaimer at the beginning of the book, and specifically say, this is not medical advice. And even if you're writing under pen name, don't make things up, especially for that kind of serious stuff. So
yeah. And if you're really passionate about specific topics, but you don't feel qualified to do any content research or anything like that, just make sure that your ghostwriter is, when you're vetting them, find writers who have degrees in these topics. And you can do that on a lot of different freelancer sites. So just, when it comes to technical stuff like this, make sure that you're getting specialists who can ghostwrite in that field. So, all righty. What else did we want to cover here? What else do you want to look at, Virginie?
So when the KD spy is showing here, there's the top 20. I would go over every single one and then remove the ones that are irrelevant. So for example, number 2, the thing we keep, a novel. So that's a novel. So this is not relevant.
Not relevant.
To remove them, what you need to do is you need to click on that little box at the end where there's the tick at the moment. If you
and I can't do that up here because again, I've got a weird bar in my screen that you guys can't see, but I can tick it on the side here. Like there's this, don't ever forget, that looks like a novel if it's book 1 in a series. And then this one down here, that's even saying it's a novel. These are novels. So it's interesting how sometimes in areas where it's clearly nonfiction, people are still getting their fiction books in there. They're claiming that that's where their book belongs and it doesn't. Don't do that. These people are getting weird also bots. And that means that probably they're having like medical books on Alzheimer's show up at the bottom of their Amazon page saying customers who bought this book also bought these books, and those Alzheimer's books have nothing to do with their books. So you'll mess up your also bots and your customer also bots if you stick your book in a category that just does not apply to you in any way, especially a nonfiction category. So just be careful about that.
You had to choose a category that I know absolutely nothing to do. So I don't know what to add more. Do something that I know something about.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Let me see.
Fine, Virginie. I'm just gonna hover over here.
Oh, so no, later.
Subliminal messaging.
Please, no, later. No, if we have time.
To do
if we have time later. So now let me see. Let's go into business and money.
Okay. Business and money.
Okay, definitely not accounting. That would be That's of me, especially that early out. Let's look into green business.
Okay. All right. See what we got. What happened? There we go.
It bugs sometimes.
It does.
Yeah, and when it happens, I would just either log out and log back in or refresh. It's not always 100%. Okay, let's see. So first look, if I just look at the traffic light, my immediate reaction will be, oh, this is not very popular. The potential is maybe competition seems to be low. So, but I want to go a little bit more in details on all those 20 titles. So can you just go over one by one and see if they're actually
Yes. Read the top two for me, Virginia, because I can't see them with that bar in the middle of my screen.
How to avoid a climate disaster, the solution, and then that's where it stopped. So I think that's probably relevant. And it says it has 5,000 reviews with estimate month revenue of only $1,200 for 5,000 reviews. So this is already not looking great. Next one is a marijuana growers handbook. Oh. Huh.
See how marijuana what? Marijuana Girls Handbook?
Yeah. See how it gives me ideas?
Yes, I see how you're getting ideas. I worry about those ideas.
So, interesting. Okay, but it is only $700 in revenue and 2,000 in reviews. So I'm not sure if there's money in there. And then when I look at the other ones, it doesn't look very. All the revenues seem to be pretty low. So okay, close that. Let's see something else. Organizational behavior.
Organizational behavior it is. Okay. Oh, there we go. Average sales rank is for good glory. I hope it gets better.
Okay, while it's loading, I'm just going to very quickly over some of the questions. Craig, I'll come back to the ghostwriter contract in a moment. The number Patty, so what is the competitive sales ranking number? I would stay away from those that are under 10,000. CJ?
Yeah, for sure. Like this is a little concerning, just this category, simply because all the way up to here, 10,000, this is the only book that I might feel comfortable competing against when I'm first starting out. So these sales ranks are super low. They're selling quite a few books. I mean, it's nice to know that there's money in this. What would be better? Do you see how we can niche down a little bit? Let's try to show up in something that has to do with organizational behavior, but organizational change, learning, or workplace. Which one do you want to look at?
Let's do change.
Okay. So it's nice when these categories are broken down even further, because sometimes that means that you can then move in there, but it's not quite as competitive within that specific sub niche.
Okay, so
yeah, that's already looking better.
Okay, let this load. Kathy, sorry, my name is Virginie. So it looks like the first time. That's exactly what I said. We can't just start with giving beauty tips. People would think that it's not the right place. So Kathy, my name is Virginie. I'm one of the part of the KPI program, and CJ is also a coach part of this program. Sorry for not introducing ourselves. We need to do that every time.
We do. I forget that new people are signing up all the time. I just assume that you know us and obviously love us already.
Obviously.
Obviously. Yes. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Kay, so why are you only looking at 1 to 20 and not 1 to 40 results, Nancy. 1 to 20, that's on page 1.
Yeah, we want to show up on page 1 as opposed to ranking any lower than that.
Yeah, Donna, yes, when you want to remove a book that is not relevant, just click on that little box where there's a tick, and then you will become a cross. Here you go. And that will change the results on top, you know, where it says average sales rank and monthly revenue and things like that. How much notice do you take of the traffic lights at the bottom? As soon as I see a red, it puts me off. Debbie, that's what I was trying to say. It's one thing that I look at, but then I want to go into each of the title and see if all those 20 titles are relevant to me. And if not, I'm going to remove them, and then I'll check the traffic light again.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, Patty, yeah, we'll go try that one in a moment. Another topic. Beth, no, not science and math, please. Too early. It's 7:30 a.m. It's too early. I can't.
You can't wrap your brain around it. Oh, you're funny.
How do you get into a subcategory when KDP doesn't go into the subcategory? Just like the way how CJ just did. If you look on the left hand here on her screen, so we have the main category, which is business and money, and then we went into organizational behavior, and then now we're in the subcategory of organizational change.
And if you want your book listed under organizational change, since you can't actually, I doubt you can find something this sub niche on KDP on your Kindle Direct Publishing account. So you actually have to go into your Kindle Direct Publishing account, go to the help center and call them and ask them to place, you really do need to call them and say, hey, these are the categories I want my book under. And they'll manually do that for you, since they don't, I doubt they give you this option in the little drop down menu when you're picking categories for your books. So
can we trust the estimate monthly revenue to be correct? Nina, I think they're pretty correct, because BSR is public information and you can work out the monthly revenue based on the BSR. So this is, and it changes all the time. So BSR, I think does it change like every 2 hours or something like that?
I thought it was hourly. So, because depending on when people are buying from you, it's hourly. Also, the creator of this, Wesley, he updates things, which actually I just got an email from him saying that he's adding audiobooks to this.
Yeah.
So
Kevin
yeah,
said that. Yeah, that's good.
So that's exciting.
Okay, and then I noticed when you do search in books, nonfiction is an option. When I search books, nonfiction isn't even listed. Any suggestions?
In ebooks, there's is she saying that nonfiction in ebooks isn't even suggested as a category?
So no, I noticed when you do search in books, nonfiction is an option. So yeah, this is a category, but when she searches for books, nonfiction is not shown as a category. That's
okay. I have noticed that nonfiction will actually show up in subcategories within ebooks. For example, if you click on teen and young adults in the ebooks category section, you'll actually find a subsection of nonfiction, and you'll also find that within children's books as well. You'll find a subsection of nonfiction that you can click on. And I'm not sure if there is other aspects to nonfiction in different areas that you might find, but you can, look around, check all of those things, get really familiar with the category aspect of this.
Yep. Okay. So Kathy is asking if we can do a little bit of introduction on each of us. Can we do this at the end so we're not interrupting the flow? Okay, so back to these 20 books. So let's go a little bit more in detail. So let's have a look in each one of them. Building an elite organization, the blueprint to scaling a high growth, high profit business. Okay, that sounds pretty relevant.
Yeah.
But okay, let's have a look at this, because estimated revenue 56,000, reviews only 24. Sales rank 11.
Yeah, so that's and here's the interesting part. You've got like the first couple books where it's going to be killer to ever get a bestseller sticker, but with the rest of them you can still land on the first page, because these sales ranks aren't too difficult to master. And it looks, most of them, you know, from here up you've got over 100 books or $100, right? Is this is the daily one, isn't it? No, sorry,
No.
I can't see the headers up here and I don't have it memorized, so tell me what I'm looking at, Virginie, because I can't see the
stop moving, just go on one line. Stop moving.
Sorry, it was just too tempting.
Okay, reframing organizations, artistry, choice, and leadership. So we have a estimate monthly sales of $72. No, sorry, 72 books, $4,000, and with 700 reviews and 47,000 in BSR. I would dig a little bit more deep into this topic, I think. I would. But let's just have a little bit more, have a look and see if everything's actually relevant in this line. So can you go back from the top? So this one, the first one is relevant. What's the second one? Leadership, the way visionary leader. I think this is leadership, leadering, the way visionary leaders play bigger. I don't think it's relevant. It's too broad. Like
unless they're discussing the way leaders create organizational change, but that's not necessarily, we'd have to, you'd need to go and read the blurb and see what it's about to really get a clear picture of what they're talking about. But just from the title, it doesn't look like it's.
Okay, next one. CMO to CRO, the revenue takeover by the next generation executive. Yeah. Okay, next. The goal, a process of ongoing improvement. Okay. How highly effective people speak. It looks, okay, how high performers use psychology to influence with ease. It sounds more like a book on influence and how to speak, how to influence people. No, I would remove the, I mean, you got to go a little bit more in details and maybe check the blurb, but let's just remove that for now.
Okay.
Atomic Habits, I would remove that because it's not really about
I think it's about, well, it's about good habits, obviously, but I don't know. I guess you could apply them to organizational change, specific habits, but.
A system business environment where innovation thrives. Yes. Okay, next one, the number 8, the advantage, why organizational health trumps everything else in business. Okay, yeah. Switch, how to change things when change is hard. Okay. Team topologies, organizing business and technology teams for fast flow. Yeah. Team for teams. Yeah. Okay. The talent war, how special operations and great organization win on talent. Okay.
Interesting.
Reframing organizations, artistry, choice, and leadership. The fearless organization, creating psychological safety in the workplace for learning, innovation, and growth. Yeah.
Psychological safety. Huh. That's an interesting approach to organizational change.
So yeah. So, and then I would, we're just actually really doing this fresh, like what you do. But so, for example, I might take note some of those keywords, psychological safety, and I want to go and have a look if there's any demand for that. Just keep going. Next one, change by design, revised and updated, how design thinking transform organization and inspire innovation. Yeah. Systemology, create time, reduce errors, and scale your profits with proven business systems. Yep.
Yep.
get unstuck now, how smart people gain clarity and solve problems fast. I don't think this is relevant.
Problem solving is good. Maybe if it's within the framework of organizational change, but again, go in and see what the focus is of the book before you decide to keep it or not keep it.
Yeah. Teaming, how organizations learn, innovate, and compete in the knowledge economy. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Our iceberg is melting, changing, and that's not, I think. Bliss scaling. Yeah. The lightning fast path to building massively valuable companies. Yes. Okay. All right. So after that, so popularity C is pretty low. So it's red. Potential is green. Competition is green.
When you're looking at this, as far as the average sales rank go, that's not too hard to beat. And you've got some good monthly revenue here, but again, you've got to decide whether that, it would be better if this said potential, like it has potential to grow. That doesn't mean you can't try to put it in here if you wanted to choose this category, but it also might mean that you just take this idea and see if there's a way to use it in a different category where it would be more profitable there. So that's kind of where you come in here and you start looking at book ideas. Like Virginia, didn't you say you liked this reframing organizations? And then there was that psychology one where you would look and.
Yeah, I think I would probably go in those ones that I think that are doing well, but not too low in BSR, that I can possibly come up with some sort of, point of difference. And then I would want to read their book blurb just to get a little bit more idea. And then I probably also go into, okay, can you click on one of those that is doing well, and but without a too low BSR? Let's say.
Which one do you want?
What's the, with not too high reviews either. So what, how, no. What's not, revenue is too low. I want one that is a little bit higher in BSR, but with still a little bit of revenue. I mean, around $1,000 in revenue. Okay, just the last one, the Bliss scaling.
Okay.
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
Did it switch? It didn't switch, did it? Let me go.
No.
It does not like to go from incognito to regular stuff. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I have that book. I was like, this book sounds really familiar. Why? Okay, it's because I have it. Okay. And it's because I probably read it, but just didn't finish it. Okay. So see, I would go and read this, the book blurbs here, and there's a foreword by Bill Gates. Okay, that might be a little bit. Anyway, it's okay. Go back up to the book cover area where you see where it says look inside. Click on that. And then I would want to go have a look at the table of contents. So, and then I would try to see if I can come up with some sort of point of difference. So I would do that for multiple books, not just for this one, but I say the top 5. And then I go into the table of content and see if I can think from a different angle, or how to organize it in a different way, or maybe focus on something that they are not focusing on. Maybe they're focusing on big companies. How maybe I can focus on like solo entrepreneurs, or a different angle, and see if there's any point of difference I can bring. And yeah, so that's what I would be doing.
8 key transitions. Yeah, so it's basically teaching you all these different ways of scaling through strategy, through management, business models. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Do you want me to close it?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to stall because I really don't want you to go to the romance thing. Let me.
You were the one who suggested a fiction demo. I was totally fine with nonfiction.
I think I was high when I
Do a
suggested.
fiction demo, she said. You were drinking wine. I'm
Yeah.
drinking water.
Okay, so let's just check some of the questions. Jean is asking, can you please tell what is ASC? It is below more after AVG cells. Jean?
Is this on Katie Spy?
I don't know.
Oh dear.
I don't know. Yeah.
ASC. Maybe
ISC and AVG. Sorry. Yes, Susie, we're going to do the fiction. Oh, okay. Let's just finish the questions here.
Shout out to my fiction lovers.
Can you look into a book content in some way? I think, Mercedes, I think we just did that. You just click on that button, look inside. Would you say, Patty, would you say if over 75% having BSR of over 10,000, it's a good amount to move forward and investigate more? So do you have still the KD Spy page open?
Yeah. Yep. Let me I just have to go back to my incognito, pull that up. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that if, 3/4 of this has a sales ranking of, over 10,000, then yeah, I would investigate more. But if like more than half of this has a sales ranking of 10,000 or under, if each one of these is like 10,000, 9,000, 8,000, and that starts here, I think that would be fairly competitive to jump into, at least the category. It doesn't mean you can't glean book topics or ideas off of this and then search them on their own to see, how profitable or how competitive it might be, or, how in demand it might be. A lot of times these ideas within these specific categories are very profitable, and you can utilize them and then place them in categories that are also relevant, but not nearly as competitive to rank in. So we're just trying to show you, the difference between categories that are not too competitive to rank in, and categories that are. And then as also, how you can get inspiration by looking at these books and just, deciding if maybe you could do some searches on them to see if those topics alone are profitable. And then, you can go from there, figuring out different categories to put those books in. So this is the way you brainstorm. If you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, I just don't know what to do or where to go, I have no ideas, just start searching categories, start looking at these books. It'll give you a lot of ideas to work on. So
from your experience broadly, what categories have all 3 greens? Venkata, it's going to be really difficult to give you I think every single category has some sort of 3 greens opportunities. You just have to dig a little bit deeper, go inside of the subcategories. If the broad category is a little bit too competitive, narrow it down. I'm a big fan of narrow things down. If you don't have whenever you think about topics, think about who is going to be your reader, your ideal reader, and what are the things that they would want to read, because it doesn't make sense to have a book that talks about, big businesses, small businesses. I don't know, it all mix all together. They don't have the same needs. They don't have the same issues. So it's really good if you can narrow down. So going in subcategories, it might give you some more ideas going from there. So I know that some of you really need that kind of, the percentage, what's the BSN numbers, what's the number of competitors and all those things. you got to look at all those data as a whole, and then make up your mind. We just can't give you a exact
numbers. Yeah.
numbers. Yeah.
Because everything shifts so much. People are publishing new things change. It's important to stick with evergreen categories that are always going to be, something that people are interested in. But yeah, what we're teaching you is the way to research, because no search, again, I've said it before, no two searches are the same. So it's a lot of just looking at all of the data and analyzing things and evaluating what you think would work best based on the guidelines we give you. So.
Okay, Moja, I hear what you're saying, but not understanding how looking at bliss scaling gives you what? It gives me ideas of what I can write. So if I think this organizational change could be a potential topic that I'm going to write on, I'm going to go into, for example, bliss scaling, and I'm going to look inside. I want to look at their book blurb, so the description of the book. And I also want to go inside of the book and look at the table of contents. That gives me some ideas on what my book should be focusing on. What are some of the chapters that my book should be having? So obviously you're not just looking at one book. You've got to look at multiple books of people who are doing well on your topic, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm. So maybe they were talking about startups. Like, let's just say that the blitzing book was talking about scaling up a startup. Then you could look at that and see all of the different ways in the table of contents, the things they're talking about. And maybe you sit there and go, I wonder how profitable it would be to discuss scaling up, a startup. Or do I discuss a startup that's kind of stuck and how to get it out of its stuck phase through specific organizational changes and strategies? And so it can give you ideas as to what is not being focused on and how you can move on.
Obviously, the preamble to all this is you have to have some sort of level of interest in the topic that you're going to write. You don't have to be an expert on it, but you have to have some sort of interest. So if you have, say, for example, no interest about organizational behavior or change or anything around that, of course, you know, it's just going to be a little bit like, I don't even know where to look for, where to start. And it's going to be very difficult. So always start in things that you have an interest in, and that's going to be much easier. Ellen, thank you. So AVG is average. We're just so dumb, CJ.
I thought it might be average, but I was stuck on the ISC. Is that, did we figure out what that is?
No.
No?
I'm just scrolling up. Any thoughts? Okay, hold on. Can you show how to install KD Spy on incognito? So you don't install on incognito. So when you install KD Spy, you click on that little, so KD Spy should be installed in your normal browser, in your Chrome browser or whatever that is. When you click on that little button, click.
Just right click.
Yep. Do you see where it says manage, what is it? Manage
extensions.
And then that you will open a new window. And when you scroll down, there's a section where it says enable incognito. And that's what you do. And then when you open a page in incognito mode, that little icon would appear here. So CJ's screen is showing a incognito screen.
Right.
Window.
If it doesn't show right away, then click on this little ditty. My technical terms. And then you can always pin it. So that says unpin, but I've already got it pinned. So you can just click on that, make sure you pin it so that you can see it up there.
Any thoughts on Kindle Vella? Okay, yours, CJ. On Kindle Vella?
So my mentor was invited, well, they did a beta thing of this, and he was invited to try it, they paid him to write for it. So he tried to write for it, and he said it never got off the ground. So that was phase one. This is phase 2, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I kind of want to sit back and wait because it's going to be a lot more expensive for readers than just Kindle Select. So they're enrolled in Kindle Unlimited. They pay $10 a month for Kindle Unlimited. With this, they're having to pay more for coins, I guess, or tokens. At least that's what I've seen so far. And also, you don't get paid as an author until like the first 3 books, or things within the little novellas. So if you're writing episodic fiction or tiny tutorial type books, nonfiction, you're not going to get paid for the first 3 books for some reason. And I'm not really clear on why they've done that. So I understand that they're trying to make this kind of like Wattpad. If anybody has ever looked at Wattpad, a lot of people will go and just start uploading books and writing things, and they'll create followings, and it's all free. Nobody's paying them to do that. But it almost seems like this is very similar, where writers are writing books and publishing them very quickly, episodically, for readers who are very voracious in that. But I'm a little worried just because I don't know exactly when you get paid or how much authors would get paid. So I'm sitting back and just kind of watching it. I think it's in its early stages, and I'm just not clear on how it is great for the authors, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
Okay. I think the short answer, CJ, will be right now, don't worry about it. Right now, don't worry about it. Kindle Unlimited is still more advantageous for the readers, and it's just, $10 and they can read as much as they want. So I would do that. How do you know if it's too popular? The BSR mainly.
Oh, too popular. Do they mean too competitive and don't stay in there?
Oh yeah, Kate. I'm assuming you mean too competitive. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
10,000 and under. That's the guidance we're giving you, and give or take a few thousand.
BSR, BSR bestseller rank. If it's under 10,000, it's probably getting a little bit too popular. But if you have one that is under 10,000 and the other ones are like 30, 40, 50, that's fine. That's fine. You just don't want like the top, I don't know, 5, 7 are all under 10,000. It's gonna be really, really hard. Wandana is asking, is there a list of which categories are not as competitive?
Oh, do we have a resource like that in the KPI beginners? I thought that Sophie had,
there's a list of categories that Sophie likes to do books in, but it's like there's the category and there's the subcategories. Some of the categories might be quite competitive, and then if you dig a little bit more further in the subcategories, then it's becoming less competitive. So
like this, I mean, these were slightly more competitive, but you see how we niche down here? And so the more niche you get, it seems like, hopefully, the idea is that the less competitive it is. And I think that really it's more about you guys researching this and taking the time to get really familiar with all of these categories and niches and sub niches, because the more you do, the more efficient you become when it comes to coming up with ideas and assessing profitability. So do that work, sit down in front of the computer, have an hour each day or however much time you can put aside to really just start researching all of these different categories and the sub niches and just get, really get a good feel for it. It'll be worth it for you to learn all of that.
Yeah. Okay. How many categories can you put your book into? By default, 2. And then you can request manually KDP support to add 8 more. So you just have to it's covered, Tony, in the course. So you can add 10 more. CJ, I think you just froze. I think I need to
froze?
Yeah, I think I need to make a compilation of all your
of my
This is gonna be my plan. Yeah.
No, I have all of my windows closed. There's no reason that I should be freezing. Dang it.
Well, you know what I think about your internet connection anyway.
I do.
But at least we can hear your voice, so that's good. Louis is asking, I'm also looking into getting books ready for Christmas sales. Christmas related book stories. What sells for Christmas? I don't know what sells for Christmas. I think a lot of recipe books, probably. Maybe low content Christmas organization type of books. Are you still there, CJ?
I'm still here. I'm just struggling.
What are selling for Christmas? What kind of books are selling for Christmas?
Hallmark books, romance books. Those are what sells really well for Chris. Are they asking about nonfiction? I could totally help you with nonfiction too, but you know, I know fiction better. But yeah, you get into Christmas stuff and you're good to go. Am I still frozen? Because I've got my little thing spinning. Dang it.
Yes, you
are. Did I freeze with a funny look on my face? That's what I'm most concerned about here.
Not as funny as it used to be, but I think I'm still going to take this screenshot.
Dang it. I've already talked.
Okay.
Not allowed.
Heidi, can you please contact customer support? So customer support at knowledgesource.com.au. We don't deal with those things, so I can't give you an answer there. Judy, TSC is under the more column. Huh? What? All right. Jean, it's but yes, ISC is in Katie Spy. You have more page than price below more in blue. TSC. Oh, yes. Yes. Are you there?
And I had done so well, just like, you know, we were just moving right along.
Hold on.
Here we go. Oh, it says that I can't show you my face because you have permission.
Here you can. I gave you permission.
Still sharing? Here we go. Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Can we see?
Okay. There we go. I was going through this entire call without any mess ups.
Oh, yes. So, okay. Now you explain. So, Jean, ISC is those things in the middle, in the blue.
Oh, oh, okay. Gotcha. It'll just take you to different places. So I'm going to remain out of the incognito mode just for now, because I'm frightened that that things will happen that should not happen. So let me pull this up. Oh, let's just go to here. Why am I messing with that? And then we can show you what it is you were asking about. Okay, so what that is it'll actually take you to like the cover, and it will take you to a search of the book. And then this, I believe, does this take you to the actual page? I'm trying to see this. Okay, so when you click on the T, oh, you're tracking. Okay, that's right. So you can actually track the book and its sales and watch that information throughout the month to see how the book goes. So if I wanted to track this book, then I would just click on that and track it. And then if you want to go back to the results, I believe the S is a search that you can do on Google for the book. And then the other one is for the cover, which I find really interesting. So it'll give you like the cover image. I think that's useful, I would suppose, when it gives you the image size, but you could also like use a link and show your cover designer, hey, I need cover designs similar to this within this niche. This is how the books are looking within this niche. And so it gives your cover designer some ideas. So.
Okay. All right. So, is there such a categories that are popular but not as competitive? Wandana is asking that.
Oh, popular but not.
I think it's, I mean,
you just gotta search it.
Yeah. You got to go into the categories that you're interested in and then dig inside. So yeah. So there's no like, you know, a tool that you can just enter in and check out whether it's competitive or not. You really have to do the exercise that we just did here. That's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm. And we could try to give you some, but it would probably change over time as more people publish books. So yeah.
When you are in top 100 of a book category, is it a representation of a lot of different keywords that fall into that category that rate well? Best method for teasing out those keywords.
Okay, repeat that question again.
When you are in top 100 of a book category, is it a representation of a lot of different keywords that fall into that category that rate well? Best
I would
method.
imagine so. So if you just take a look at the word cloud, it'll give you a lot of different, words that you can use. I find this to be incredibly unhelpful. I always have. I mean, you can put that in there, but really what it amounts to is these folks within the top 20, they're most likely utilizing Amazon ads. And so the keywords that they're using, I don't know that you can figure that out. I don't know that there's a tool that can like search them or their keywords or any of that to figure out exactly what they're using. What you can do is you can take a look at their titles and their subtitles and compare. And you can take a look at the blurbs and the types of keyword phrases that are in there and compare. And you can check to see if they're keywords. If you go into Publisher Rocket and just type in different phrases and things that you find on those pages and just see what you come up with. Because remember, anyone who is doing Amazon ads is most likely using over 300 keywords just to get their books noticed. They want to spread the love and try to find as many different ways that people are searching for their types of books. So the categories really have nothing to do with the keywords, in the sense that, oh, because they have these keywords, they're in this category. You set the category, you choose the category, but the keywords is what allows them to get to that top of that list within the category. I have no idea if I answered your question.
I think, Christine, maybe another way of looking for those keywords, because she's asking best method for teasing out those keywords, is to use Publisher Rocket.
Yeah.
So once you have a category, and then you can just hit, can you show if you can?
Yep.
Please. Yeah, also, okay. All right, so biographies and humor books for Christmas presents only. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Donald, it's not helpful. It is not helpful. We're asking for book ideas, not a sweater.
What did he say? I need to check the chat.
Get the sweater for Christmas gift. No, we're not talking about things. We're talking about books. No, so you guys cannot see the questions. That's on purpose, because then you don't get distracted by looking at those questions instead of listening to us. It's just very dictatorial. That's me.
That's right. He laid down the law hard. Hard line.
All right. So can you go to Publisher Rocket?
Yeah, I can do that. Oh, that means I was supposed to have it open already. And I did not.
Ebony is asking, how do we get Kindle ebooks free or have to pay? Not sure how, please advise. Are you talking about when you go on Amazon buying a book? Just let me know, because I'm not sure I understand exactly your question. All right, so here we go. Let's go. Do your thing.
Do my thing. All right. What do you want me to search? What am I doing?
Organizational change, was it?
I think it was, yeah. Oh, please work. Yay. My computer's been massively, horribly, awfully slow today. So just organizational change on itself within books is less than 100. And we can compare that to ebooks as well.
Yep.
Still less than 100 searches for organizational change. But then you can also take a look at management, because some of these search terms are also a bit niche. What is BERC? Communication? Education. It looks like the searches are less. Okay, so organizational change in education. That's interesting. So it can kind of help you get a focal point as to what, if this is also helpful in the sense of, okay, I want to do organizational change. What aspect of that would actually be searched? What part of it would be profitable? Because there could be parts of organizational change, as we've just seen here, that are not profitable, like this. So, it's part of that process of using Katie Spy and Publisher Rocket together.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I still wouldn't give up on that. I know that the search per month is low, but maybe it's different words that I need to change. This is a good point, Victor. Are you able to try organizational change with a S instead of Z? I think Z is the American spelling. I think that's probably the most searched one. S is more for us, the normal side of the planet, which is Australia.
So what is the abnormal individual typing in the box, Virginie?
Okay, I'm going to, I know we have a lot of Americans and Canadian people here, so I'm going to shut up now. I think it's just going to come backfire at me. Not a good idea. Okay, remove this part. Next. So do you want to try to write with a S instead of a Z in organizational?
So organizational changes. Oh, F, got it. Yep.
I think the result will be even less. That's my guess. Zero.
Bummer.
Oh, what's the one that had a bit of, it's in education, was it?
Yeah, it was the education one. Did I pass that up there? I didn't see it. I don't actually see the well, organizational change and development. I think that has a lot to do.
No.
Types of organizational change. Maybe you do a book on types of organizational change. You could create a series, focus on one book that discusses organizational change or a different type of it. See if you could actually do a full book on a type. Can you think of a type of organizational change? I didn't know there were so many. Honestly. Yeah. Let's take a look at the competition and see what books fall under types of organizational change. The 5 dysfunctions of a team. Okay, so there's organizational, like teams, the way that, and I also think processes and procedures is part of that organizational change, because when those processes are not working, then it's time to reorganize those. And what's the best way to do it? And how do you analyze those problems and solve them? So we're seeing team of teams. We're seeing quite a bit of stuff when it comes to team organization within businesses. A guide for tech leaders navigating growth and change. So there's that aspect of growth and scaling up again that's coming back. The framework for building repeatability into your business. Interesting.
So all those things, it's great because it really gives me idea on topics, and even more narrowed down topics. Maybe I can talk about a specific organizational technique. Like maybe I can talk about the agile method, or some of the what's this, the other Japanese one. So maybe I can really zoom in. So at this stage, it's really about gathering keywords, ideas, and work together with the level of demand, level of competition. And then once I have all those data, then I can really, direct which direction I want to take my books to, because I don't want to write something that no one wants to hear or read about. So this is really we're brainstorming. I know this is not very like step by step.
Not step by step. Because
it's
you're just checking out a lot of things.
you have to. This is the most intensive phase. Once you found those winning ideas, then the rest is pretty easy. But this is every single new book. That's the most intense part, and that's the most vital part. If you don't get your ideas right at the beginning, it doesn't matter how well you do your marketing, you do your book cover. If the content is not there, you're not going to be able to sell your book. So it's really worth spending time and really do the research really thoroughly. So, okay. If you write under a pen name, do you put an author page and make things up, or just omit an author page? Alisa, if you write under pen name, you still put up an author page and write a author profile. CJ, can you show your author's page profile?
Yep, I sure can. Let me go back in here.
Because it's not so much about, I mean, yeah, let's have a look at CJ's author page with her 15 years old misleading profile
That's
picture.
right. Hey, I need people to think that I am young and vibrant when I'm writing for young adult fiction. Were you talking about an actual book page or just the author page in general? Because I've got this, but I can also go to like a book and scroll down and you can see the author bio if you want to, but there's also this right here. When you're discussing, when you're writing under a pen name, the key is if you're not an expert in the subject, don't claim to be. Just, you know, state that you have an interest in it, and then discuss your dogs or your cats or the cabin that you live on, you know, on the lake shore, or, you know, you'll see all sorts of interesting formulaic things that a lot of authors put in there where they personalize it a little bit. So, you know, they have a family and, you know, their interests and hobbies, and that, you know, this particular topic that they are publishing under is also an interest. You don't have to sit there and go, I have a PhD in this and that, I work in this and that. That's not necessary. If you have it and it's applicable, great. But if not, don't lie. Just, you know, discuss other things and other ways to introduce yourself under that pen name.
Competitive score, the lower number, the better. Debbie, it's one element. Yes, the lower, the better. That means that the lower, the less competitive it is. But it's not the only thing that you need to look at, because you might have very low competitive score. But if you have no search volume, then there's no point in going there, right? Mm-hmm. So it's, yeah, just look all those numbers in conjunction with each other.
Right. We recently did something on Publisher Rocket and looking at the numbers. If you missed that, go back and watch that tutorial. Was that last week? I think that was last week, but we went maybe the week before, but we went over Publisher Rocket and how to kind of look at the numbers as a whole, and also how to look at them individually and what they all mean. So.
Yes, yeah, we went quite in depth in there. Do we do different bio pages for the different pen names? Yes, Deborah. Yeah.
You can do that in Author Central. So that's not anything you're going to do in your KDP account or right here. This is just the product of what all the things you put in your Author Central account makes it look like this. This is how your author page looks. So you would just type in authorcentral.com and that's where you can create your own account. And you can put 3 pen names under that particular account. I think, Virginia, did you say you could sometimes add more if you call customer service? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then each pen name has its own page within Author Central where you can add the bios and you can add the books that pertain to that particular bio or individual or pen name.
And if you don't want to put a picture of yourself as CJ did just there, look at her face. I just can't. It's just.
I got to tell you, I looked far and wide for something that was like soul searching, something that was model friendly, anything to get a reaction out of you, because it's so easy sometimes.
So searching.
And then I left it there.
Yes. If you don't want to put your own face, you can even create, you can just get, you can even draw one. It doesn't matter. You know, you can pay.
There are a lot of different things you can do. Yeah.
You can put a face, you can put a picture of, for example, for me, I don't have a picture from on my profile. It's a picture of, because I write in the nonfiction category, and I do a lot of business related books, and my profile picture is like a digital agency type of picture, so it's not me. Yeah.
And look at this, Lindsay Hall's profile author pick. That's a character from her cover. That's her book cover right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could do something like that too if you're doing fiction.
Okay. All right. So I think hold on, wait. Bill, I was researching keywords today, and KD Spy showed a green traffic light. However, 80% of the first 20 books had over 1,000 reviews, and 10 of the top 20 books had a BSR of under 10,000. In this case, would it be best to pull back results from Publisher Rocket, and as long as the competition score, search numbers, revenue look good, it would be a good keyword to use? Yeah, Bill, I like to really work. I really like to use KD Spy and Publisher Rocket together. I think they give me complementary information, and also it helps me to brainstorm more. So I think that traffic light, sometimes I just think it's rubbish. Be honest. Sorry, Wesley. I know it's recorded, but
you said it live, recorded. It's live. Okay.
Sorry, Wesley. I don't mean to offend, but sometimes it's okay. Let me dig my hole even deeper.
Deeper. Go for it. Yes. My popcorn. Keep going.
Sometimes it's really good, but some of the time it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense because a lot of, you know, when you go through the top 20 books, I can't remember what I did search, but then I did a search, a nonfiction topic, a business related nonfiction topic. And then it came up with, you know, green, green, green for the traffic lights. And then when I look at each of the title, I think 14 out of 20 results are all novels.
Mm-hmm.
And it's absolutely, it has nothing to do with what I want to do. So in that sense, Wesley Akin, who is the owner of KD Spy, in that sense, it's not ideal.
Right. And just remember, always go with the numbers. Go with the numbers, not the stoplights, not the lights at the bottom. Always go with the numbers.
Yep. Did I dig myself out of the hole?
I think you did. It was excellent. And now I'm going to eat a cookie.
Yes, Craig's question. On the ghostwriter contract, is the author name my real name or a name I have chosen to publish under? You can use your pen name. Does each pen name also get its own Goodreads page?
Yeah, it does, because your book has your pen name on there. And so in order for you to claim it on Goodreads, because Amazon's going to automatically put it up there, whether you like it or not, you've got your pen name needs to match the pen name of the book.
What is acceptable price per 1,000 words for, say, 15,000 words? Craig, it depends a little bit if you're going with a ghostwriter or an agency with ghostwriters. Agencies tend to charge a little bit more. So as an example, 30,000 words for nonfiction, because fiction is more expensive. But for a nonfiction book without many, you know, graphics and charts and things like that. So just a traditional 30,000 nonfiction books. It's about 30,000 words. Did I say 30,000 words?
Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm.
It's under $1,000 with an agency. With ghostwriter, you can probably have less, but then just consider that if you use a ghostwriter, you might have to also have a book editor, a proofreader, and probably sometimes also a formatter, because they probably won't format it to the KDP standards. So whereas if you work with agency, they would format at least your ebook, and
hopefully do some editing as well.
Yeah.
So it's best to use an agency that's kind of a one-stop shop if you can make that happen.
And then Craig is asking, I'm going to want to add drawings, which will be done by someone else rather than the writer. At what stage do I, and how do I put both the writing and illustrations together? You need to, you need to get a, okay. Let's take a step back. If we don't recommend too many illustrations to start with, and also if you need to print your illustrations in color, and you are using Amazon's print on demand, so the paperback option, it's going to cost you quite a lot because they don't do partial color printing. They don't do, like, for example, the text in color, in black and white, and then the pictures in color. If you want the picture to be in color, the entire book needs to be color printed, and it's quite costly with Amazon. So that's one thing that you need to consider when you go down that path. You need to find a separate illustrator on, say, a place like Upwork, and then you put the illustrator and the ghostwriter together so that they can, liaise together to make it work. So quite early on, once you've developed your book outline, you need to, you do whatever, I would start introducing them together, and then I would get them to work together. And it's up to you. It's your book, whether you want to put your name as for the writing part, your pen name for the writing part, and the illustrator's name. The usual practice on children book is they have always two names. So for example, they have one name for the writer and one name for the illustrator. So that's the traditional practice. Mercedes, no, please. She said, should I write that down? It's just rubbish. No.
Forever immortalized. Keep going, Mercedes.
Oh my God. No, please. Oh my God. This is going to bite me in the butt forever.
Wesley, I'm sure will be fine. Just fine.
Please. That's not what I mean. No, the tool is very, very useful. I use it all the time. It's just,
however, sometimes
you just need to analyze a little bit more in details.
Yeah.
Why did I say that? Beth, different agencies specialize in different things. So there's in the resource directory, which can be found in your KPI course, under the tab resources, there's a document called resource directory. And then we made a few recommendations for 2 or 3 different agencies. So have a look there. Yes, you can put pictures, not just black and white. You can just put pictures in electronic Kindle books. That's fine. But then it's not about the number of pages that you're printing. It's about the size of your book. So
1 MB, I think they said 1 MB size is like 15 cents delivery fee. So the bigger the file size, the more your delivery fee is that cuts into your book profits. So
yeah. Yes, so I don't, so if you have a lot of color pictures, images in the book, your ebook cost will be quite high. What about all of the children's book for young children? Don't use Kindle or do paper only? Aren't those costly to print also? Yeah, so that's why we don't really do, at least not for your first few books, to do children illustrated, children fiction books with illustrations. So children's stories, because you
It's a little more expensive. There's a little more to navigate and to know. Nonfiction is kind of the surest bet as far as getting going and scaling your business up. And then once you've done this process quite a bit, we're not saying don't do it, because I know I've spoken to a lot of you. You have great children's book story ideas. You have great ideas for fiction books. Absolutely pursue that. There's no reason you can't. Just make sure you nail this first and you're bringing in some passive income so that you can pursue those things. It's all about scaling. So just, don't run too fast here when it comes to that. Just handle what you know you can handle, and choose things that are going to be a little bit less expensive now as you're just starting out.
Thank you, Jason. The traffic light could use some work. That's what I meant, but that's not what I said.
And that's what we all knew you meant, Virginie. Of course we did. That's what we all knew you meant.
What about recipe books that needs several pictures? Would the pictures eat into the book profit? So Deborah, see, this is a good example of a book that I would not do as an ebook, because I personally, I really like hardcover recipe books. So I wouldn't do recipe books, to be honest.
Because the ebook platform is hard for it. It's not as profitable, and neither is the audiobook. I mean, you just don't do cookbooks as audiobooks, really. So
Ebony, hi, if you're a member of the KPI program, do you get Kindle books for free? No.
Is she talking about the author review Facebook group where you can get, because that's where you go to
yes,
free books so that you can leave reviews. So people will post their books when they're free, and then you can go leave a review. But other than that, there's nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Ebony. If you're talking about just go on Amazon and get free ebooks, no, we don't. We don't. I wish, but we don't. But if you're talking about the books published by members of this community and who put their book on in our review, in our review group called Aspiring Authors Club on Facebook, then you can get free ebooks. Okay, all right. So I know that we didn't cover fiction, and we're already an hour and a half over time. So let's.
It's so darn sneaky. That was intentional.
And Catherine is asking, how many pen names should we be considering? 3, 6, 12? How much is too much? Do you ladies have several pen names each? I think 12 is definitely overkill. 3 could be good. I think it also depends a little bit your genre. So I like to have a different pen name per genre. So for CJ, for example, she has a different name for her
young adult romantic fantasy books. You can say it without vomiting, Virginie. I know you can do it. I know you can.
What's the other one?
I think she purposely forgets what the genre is called.
I think my brain cannot register that thing. So I still don't get it. So, and what's the other one, the other pen name for the other genre?
My other pen name is Cynthia Savage for contemporary romance. Okay. So it's romance, but it's 2 different subgenres that we're hitting there. And then I have a third one. Oh, do you want me to tell them about the third one? Do you want me to tell them?
I have a choice. Do I have a choice? Go.
No, not at all. So then I have a third one for Angelina Avery, and that is for sci-fi alien warrior romances. I know. I know. Just take a moment. Let that process.
No.
It's going to feel right.
Do you see that it's bugging? Can you see it? It's like
your eyes twitching, but it's fine. We'll work it out. It's gonna be okay.
So, and I have I have two. So I read a little bit in the kind of parenting stuff. So, but it's definitely under a pen name. And I'm going to publish books under my normal name because I have a separate digital marketing agency. So, but that's going to be under my own name. Yes. So that's what we do. Oh, and Kathy, are you still here for the introduction? I don't know if you're still here. So should we just wrap up on introducing ourselves? It's a bit weird.
Sure. You go first.
I think, yeah, okay. That's a good idea. So I don't know what to say. So I have published 4 books in mainly that kind of parenting categories. And I'm doing okay, not amazing, but that's because of my own fault, because I haven't paid much attention to each one of them. I have done one book that was a completely shocker, and I spent a lot of money on that one, and it was just not properly researched. And I thought that surely everyone would be interested in that book, and crickets. No one is really interested in that. And I did spend quite a fair bit of money on that book, but that's just how it is. I learn and and move on. Yeah, so that's what I do. Is that okay? I don't know. I mean,
so selling yourself short here. So she basically runs everything. I'll tell you what she's like. She basically runs everything. I don't think I've ever met anyone like more organized in my entire life. She keeps me going. She is probably I've never met anyone who knows like the keyword research, the numbers, the data, all of it better than Virginie. And then all of the questions that she answers and everything she knows about the industry when it comes to publishing, it's vast. It's a lot. So she's a good one to have here doing all of this for sure.
I like this. So, okay, I like you introducing me, and I'm going to introduce you. So, CJ it's a USA Today bestselling and multi-award-winning author. Do you like? I'm just reading your profile.
Just reading my bio. Go ahead.
No, so CJ, I always go back to CJ if I have something that I'm not too sure about. So CJ is specialized in fiction, as you all know by now. And what would say it's words seem just to come really, really easily to her, and she also understands the business aspect of it. So a lot of those creative type, they are really good at writing, but they don't understand the business drive behind those things. And finding CJ is like finding, I'm trying to find a poetic analogy, but I can't find anything other than just a hay in a sorry, what's the thing in the haystack? A
diamond in the rough. We'll
go
with
that's it. No, not in the rough. Like she said, oh, sorry guys, I know I'm going off a tangent, but I just want to tell this story. So this man somewhere in Australia, I think he went diving and he lost his wedding ring. Wedding band. And then there's a fish, I think it's a mullet, that had this wedding band stuck on his head. So this mullet is just swimming around in the ocean, and the mullet has been pictured by a lot of different people, going and diving in that area. So they're trying to find that mullet so that they can free the mullet and give that wedding band back to that man. And it has a lot of sentimental value, and it's like a pure gold. So it's quite an expensive thing. So all this is to say that CJ is like that mullet. that it took a lot of time for us to find. And then once we found her, I'm never going to let her go. So that's CJ. Do you like?
Oh,
You're
so
my mullet.
sweet.
You're my mullet.
Oh.
So okay. Yes, what makes both of you choose to be passive income coaches for Blue Sky rather than just focusing on your own passive income businesses? I hope you don't mind me asking this, but there are probably many people who would wonder this. This is a really great question. I think it's about diversifying our source of income, our businesses. I think it's also fun. Like, it's really, really fun. I really enjoyed the session. And I don't want to be just, behind my computer and do my production line of new books every 2 months or something like that. There's more, I think, to life. And this kind of coaching practice really gives me a little bit of a little bit of fun to my day-to-day business. I mean, Kevin, does it?
No, I feel the same way. Well, I mean, I was originally I wasn't following the ghostwriter model. I was writing the books. And so now, as I've continued to learn different processes and different models, I do both. And I really enjoy all of it, but I also am an editor and a book formatter and a publisher, and I teach people and I coach people how to do that. And I was doing that even with the passive income that I enjoy, because at the end of the day, you want to have more time with your family and more freedom and to have that passive income, but also you want to have purpose. And I like people. So this has given me purpose, and I'm talking to tons of people. So,
Yeah,
boom,
and
boom.
I think
So
also for me, so I have another business, which is a digital marketing agency, and we do help authors, to market their books, because one of the thing is, as I just mentioned earlier, a lot of authors, they don't like this aspect, and I love this. So it's about offering a service to people who don't necessarily enjoy that part. A lot of the writers, they're really good at writing, but they don't want to look at any of the marketing side of things. So that's why we don't probably just do only our books and that's it. So we diversify and we do different things because it brings us different things.
Yep.
Okay, so Kevin, I hope that's an acceptable answer. I don't know. All right, so I think we're there. Oh, so bad we didn't have a chance to go into the
do a fiction demonstration. It's fine. We just got done telling them to focus on nonfiction, so I suppose it's fine.
I'm so sorry.
I feel like something traumatic happened in your childhood for you to hate fiction entirely. I mean, did you have a bad experience with a Disney princess movie?
Oh,
I can so relate, girl. Like, I'm upset with Mulan and how it ended. There was no kiss, no payoff. That would keep you off of fiction, well, at least romance, in my opinion. And everyone's like, it was a cultural thing. And I'm like, she was cross-dressing the whole time, What do you mean it was a cultural? If she gets to cross-dress the whole time in the movie, why can't we just have one cute little kiss at the end? That's all I'm saying. And so I feel your pain, Virginie, but I feel like you need to get over it and enjoy fiction.
Disney is problematic, but
on many levels.
On many levels.
Back to fiction.
No, I can't even start telling you how much I just cannot understand this whole romance thing. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's just me. And I think I'm going to stop talking because I feel like today, especially today, but it's a usual thing, but especially today, I'm saying a lot of inappropriate things that can get me in a lot of trouble. So I'm not going to offend even more people because this is, so guys here, if you're listening, it's never in a million years my intention to offend you. So don't take it, anything I say in the past or in the future as a personal attack. No, it's just me. It's just me. So I'm just like, oh.
Also, we don't usually get off on so many tangents, so
yeah,
usually we stick to what we're doing.
For those of you who are joining us at the first time, it's not a usual thing. We do get off tangent. Come on, let's just admit it. We do get off tangent from time to time, but not as much as today. So thank you for all of you who are still here and who are still listening. We love you. We really appreciate you. And all the questions, keep them coming in. Thank you, everyone. I think we're going to wrap up. I think I've said
yes. Yeah, let's.
I don't know if we can edit all my inappropriate things.
Send me the video. I'll do it. Or will I?
Oh God. Maybe I need to come clean with Wesley.
You might.
Yeah. Thank you. And again, I'm just reiterating, the traffic light is not rubbish. It's just it needs improvement. You can do some more work.
It's not the only thing to consider at the end of the day. So yeah.
Right. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. I'll stop sharing so you can actually get out of there.
Have a great week. And see you all very, very soon.
Bye guys.
Bye guys.
Bye guys.